In previous videos, I've taken a look at several different products made by SwitchBot. From their button bot that lets you automate almost anything with a pushable button, to their smart lock that lets you retrofit almost any lock into a smart lock without taking apart your deadbolt. And in this video, we'll be taking a look at the SwitchBot Curtain Bot Rod 2. From being included in home automation routines, such as opening at a certain time in the morning, instead of using an alarm clock, to being able to provide assistance to those with mobility challenges, smart curtains can very easily add more smarts to your home. Not to mention, using them really does make you feel like you're living in the future. Take note that while SwitchBot did send me out the Curtain Bot Rod 2 to take a look at, the thoughts and opinions in this video are my own without any outside influence, monetary or otherwise. I've been using the original SwitchBot Curtain Bots since they launched via Kickstarter, so I know firsthand some of the issues the original design had, and I'm pretty excited to see what has been improved on with the Rod 2. The SwitchBot Curtain Rod 2 has a list price of $99 USD. Right out of the box, you'll notice the two main differences with the Rod 2 compared to the original. The first is that the wheels that sit on top of the rod are now separate compared to having just one piece with the wheels in it, and the wheels are much larger. This new design is meant to help deal with telescoping curtain rods by allowing more traction for getting over the gap between the poles. A secondary benefit of this redesign is that getting the curtain bot onto the rod is a lot less complex now, in my opinion. The original design was pretty annoying to line up correctly, especially when you were reaching over your head backwards to try to get it all set up properly. The second major change is with the tie provided that is required with heavier or longer sets of curtains. It's meant to attach at the top to help pull along the curtain to reduce stress on the curtain bot. The original version was a semi-clear plastic with notches in it that you would affix clips to that would then clip onto the curtain. The new version comes pre-assembled with a beaded string and improved clips. Instead of having to physically clip into the curtain material, the new ones actually go around the grommet of the curtains. The body itself is the same as the previous version, so that means the motor inside is going to be the same or close to it. This is a bit disappointing to find out, as I was really hoping they managed to make things a bit quieter when it comes to the curtain bot actually operating. Installation with the Curtain Bot Rod 2 is a lot easier now. First open the SwitchBot app and click on the plus sign at the top right hand corner. If you see the Curtain Bot at the top of the app in nearby devices, you can click on it, or scroll down to the Curtain Bot to click on. After, select the type of curtain you have, which will either be from open from one side or open from the middle. Next, hold the button on the SwitchBot until it starts to flash. Once it starts flashing, click on Next in the app. After the app detects and connects to the curtain bot, you'll be able to give it a name and assign it to a SwitchBot room. On the new screen, select the rod type you are using, which for me will be Rod. And because there are a few different versions of this model, we'll select the correct model, which is the Rod 2. With the type of rod selected, you'll next need to select the type of curtain you have. For me, I am using curtains with grommets. You'll then be presented with instructions on how to install the curtain bot. You'll want to make sure that the SwitchBot logo on the curtain bot is facing indoors and the USB-C port is pointing out towards the window. First, put the detached roller on the rod by pulling the roller up from the arm. Next, put the bot with the attached arm on the rod and connect the second arm to the curtain bot. Next, install the curtain ties, which the app has a few images for. The upgraded curtain ties are both nicer and more annoying at the same time depending on the situation. With the new beaded version, they come pre-assembled, which means less setup time and they look nicer in my opinion. The issue comes into play if the assembled tie is not the correct distance for your curtains. In one of my rooms, they are the right distance and they work fine, but in another room, where the curtains are just a bit too short for the window size, they don't work well at all. So I did have to take the clips off the bead chain, which is honestly really annoying. Actually installing the new clips though is a lot easier, which I like, and they do allow for the ability to install them upside down, which I discovered makes being able to hide them a lot easier. Installing upside down is a bit more time consuming though, so keep that in mind if you do plan on installing like that. Moving on, you'll be asked to verify that the SwitchBot logo is facing indoors and that the USB port is facing outside. Once confirmed, you can click on Confirm Calibration. The first part of calibration requires selecting which way the window opens. Next, you'll use your phone to move the SwitchBot curtain to the correct location for having the curtains open and then closed. After the open and close positions are set, you'll need to verify that the curtain bot opens and closes correctly, and you'll be allowed to make adjustments if needed. Once the curtain bot is set up correctly, you can click on Finish to complete setup. Clicking on the curtain bot from within the app, you'll be prompted with an open or close command. Clicking on More will bring you to the basic settings for the bot. Here you can set the curtains to a specific level of open, set rules based on light levels detected, set a timer to open or close the curtains, and set a specific schedule for when the curtains should open and close. Clicking on the cog in the right-hand side of the menu brings us to the main settings window. Here you'll be able to recalibrate the curtain bot, pair with a SwitchBot remote or NFC tag, convert to a double-sided curtain configuration, enable cloud services if you have a SwitchBot hub, see logs for the bot, update firmware, as well as check the level of the battery. In a double curtain setup, pulling on one of the curtains to open or close the curtain will actually trigger the other to follow suit, so that way you only have to pull on one for both to function. Likewise, within the app, if you go to open or close the curtain that's in a double curtain configuration, both will open or close at the same time. You can also adjust either side individually as well within the app, which I do like. Adding in a SwitchBot remote to open and close the curtains is a nice add-on for those that want physical control over the curtains, but don't have smart switches they could use through home automation to control the curtain bot. The SwitchBot curtain isn't too loud where it's bothersome, but they do make some noise, so you probably wouldn't want them operating in a room when someone is sleeping. You can also pick up a solar panel for the SwitchBot curtain, which means you will never have to worry about charging it again for a cost of $19 USD. The solar panel can be installed one of two ways. The first way is by having it physically attached to the SwitchBot curtain. The solar panel has two arms that extend out, then fit perfectly on the sides of the SwitchBot curtain. This is very much improved on the Curtain Rod 2 compared to the original, which was honestly a big pain to deal with. Now it just easily slides on and into place. The second way is by opening the back of the solar panel to pull out the USB extension cable. This allows for you to attach it further down on the curtain using the included 3M Velcro pads. This is how I have all my solar panels installed, because the curtain rods are installed too high above the window for the solar panels to be useful. With a solar panel installed, you'll be able to see in the app that it is recognized and if it's providing power for charging or not. Also, the solar panel can be used for light sensing as well, so don't worry if you use that for any scene control. When using a SwitchBot hub, you're able to include your SwitchBot devices in other home automation platforms such as Google Home, Amazon Voice Assistant, or even SmartThings. When connected to a voice assistant such as Google Home, you'll be able to use your voice assistant to control your curtain bot, included in routines, and control them within the Google Home app. I have my SwitchBot devices integrated with my SmartThings hub, which allows for some pretty advanced automations. One of my favorite automations will shut the curtains in the front of my house if my weather station detects UV levels rise above a certain threshold after 11 AM and before 5 PM. This is very helpful in that it will help keep the house from warming up as much, which makes things more comfortable, but also keeps my electric bill down by reducing the need for air conditioning. Another automation I use every day is part of my good night and good morning routines. This is triggered with a verbal command phrase to my Google Home, which will then take several actions, including closing the curtains at night or opening them in the morning. Good night.
Alright, I'll turn on the bedroom fan for 1 hour. Alright, closing 2 blinds.
A different take on the good morning routine would be to have the curtains open automatically at a specific time you want to wake up instead of having an alarm set. The SwitchBot curtain is also a great addition for a home occupancy simulation automation. If you've never heard of it, a home occupation simulation is something I just made up to describe taking actions to make it appear someone is home when they are not. Oftentimes, people will leave lights on timers that help it make it seem like the house is occupied, but as the world-renowned burglar Harry pointed out to Marv, it's easy to tell when the same lights go on and off every day. So instead, with the help of home automation, you can have multiple things such as lights or TVs turn on and off with a more randomized pattern, and by including the SwitchBot curtain, you can make your home occupancy simulation automation that much more believable. If you have a better name for what I just described, make sure to let me know in the comments below. because home occupancy simulation automation is a mouthful to say. If you'd like to get a more in-depth look at my goodnight routine and how I set it up, make sure to check out my video going over it right here. And if you aren't already, consider subscribing to the channel and enabling notifications to be one of the first to know when I release other smart home related videos just like this one. Thank you for watching.